Hello, Climate Trackers. I'm Anam, and I work as Research Manager here at Climate Tracker. We're very, very sorry about the delay yesterday. We weren't really sure what was going on, but there was definitely a technical issue. And those of you that are logging in today, thank you so much. We really appreciate you giving us the time once again. Hopefully there won't be any technical glitches this time, but I really can't make any promises. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, to get straight into it, a lot of you must be interested in the South Asia Challenge. And today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be walking you through how we're going to be going about the competition and how you can participate and win a chance at many prizes. Many of you must know that Climate Trackers now started expanding its research focus. So we're trying to do a lot more research. And what we want to do in this research is we want to involve you, the climate trackers. We want to make sure that our trackers are engaged in whatever we're doing. Some of you might remember, I'm going to share my screen now, and hopefully this will work. Okay, here we go. Right. Many of you will remember that last year, my colleague Anna, along with a lot of the other colleagues, did this very, very interesting analysis of media landscapes throughout the world. And this was mostly a collection of conversations with journalists from all of these parts of the world. You can access this on the Climate Tracker website. And this was an analysis of media landscapes in some countries around the world. So this was just the beginning of our research focus, and it was one of the first papers that we developed when we were doing this. I highly recommend that you download it because it's very easy reading, and that's what we're planning to do. We want research that can help us better understand media environments throughout the world. This year, we've decided to start focusing a little bit more and doing slightly more focused research. So for that, one of our first efforts at doing that was to develop this research paper that some of you might have seen, which is about language and reporting climate change. So we have an article on this on the Climate Tracker website that a lot of you must have seen. But at the same time, and it has a really, really, really good infographics that my colleague Renee developed. And you can download the report by clicking on one of these images, or you can go down and access the article given the link below. So what we did in this article was, in this research was, my experience, because I'm from Pakistan. So whenever I used to conduct training workshops for journalists in Pakistan, we would usually get this feedback from them that, you guys are teaching us in English, but we have to go back and, we have to translate our knowledge into local languages, and it's not easy to do that, especially when you're talking about climate change. So how can we overcome that, and how can we see whether language actually does impact the quality or the accuracy or even the frequency of climate change reporting in these countries? So if you're interested, you could have a look at this study. But what we did was we developed a methodology. We did a lot of desk reviews, but at the same time, we also did some interviews with journalists in Pakistan to try and find out what perspectives exist in terms of climate change reporting and language in Pakistan. So interestingly, we had a lot of findings. Many of these you're going to be able to find on the site, but a lot of them were that yes, Urdu and English are not the main spoken languages, but we find that in these countries, English and Urdu newspapers and publications dominate. And most of the people, well, none of them speak English as a first language, but even less than 8% of Pakistan's population speaks Urdu as a first language. But we found that all of the publications are in these two languages. So this is a very interesting study, and this webinar is not about that. But what I want to tell you is that we tested our methodology and we tested our approach on this research in these countries and in Pakistan. And we decided that this was such a useful research and this was such a useful research paper that we would like to replicate this study in all of the other countries in South Asia. So that's all of you. That's India, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Maldives and Bhutan. And what we're trying to do now is we're trying to do a similar analysis in each of these countries that's very focused, that will help us understand media environments, but it really focuses on language. So what are the local languages spoken in these countries? And does climate change reporting take place in these countries? If it doesn't take place, why doesn't it take place? So these are all of the questions that we're trying to address here. Now, if I move on to telling you a little bit about our competition and how we can actually, involve you, our climate trackers, in the research. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to make this into an activity that would be participatory and fun for all of you. And I'm going to tell you about the prizes later. But right now, I'm going to walk you through how you can actually do this competition. So I'm going to show you step by step for how you can participate in the competition, what tools we've prepared to help you, and then finally also a few of our prizes I'm going to explain at the end. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, great. So if you have a browser page, what you're going to do is you're going to go app.climatetracker.org, and you'll go to that page. Here you have right in front the South Asia Research Challenge. So you're going to click on that. And here you are. So I know that a lot of you got confused saying like, we didn't know how to apply. What you're going to do is if you haven't already registered on the Climate Tracker app, it's going to ask you to make an account. It's very simple to make an account. It won't take more than 2 minutes. Once you click on the South Asia Research Channel, you're going to focus on this line here. So here's the information toolkit, which explains what we're going to be doing. So we're focusing on South Asian media and climate change. Like I explained, we're going to look at how language may impact the quantity, quality, and effectiveness of media reporting on climate change. And we want to hear from journalists. So here's what your job is. You are our resource. You are our climate trackers, and we want you to help us make sure that we get good and correct perspectives from experienced journalists in your country. So here's what you need to do as a part of this challenge. The main thing you have to do is you have to interview a well-known environmental/climate journalist in your country. And preferably this should be someone who has experience writing in local languages. But even if they write in English or in any other language that's commonly spoken in your country, that's fine too. But they should just have knowledge and awareness of the other languages as well. The second step that you have to do is you have to record your interview. So while you're conducting the interview, you have to record it and transcribe it. So we don't need the recording. You can keep the recording for yourself. It's most likely that we won't understand if you do the interview in a local language. We probably won't be able to understand what you're saying. So you just transcribe the interview. So if it is in a foreign language, if you could just translate it and write it down for us. You could even do a Skype call. You can even do a phone call, or if it's convenient for you, you can do an in-person meeting. It's up to you. All we're interested in is to get the data from the environmental journalist. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to write a very short article that's based on the interview. We've given an example here. You don't have to follow this style 100%, but all we want is that you should present it in a way and present the information in a way that is interesting and especially focus on information that's relevant in terms of language. The fourth step is to upload the article here on our competition. So you're going to go to Get Started and you're going to submit the article over there. You can copy paste it in, or you can write it into the app. Now, here's the thing. You can only submit one article at a time based on one interview. So for each interview, you do one article, but you can submit as many articles as you like. And now, because Climate Tracker is nice, we have prepared some things to help you out. We have a questionnaire that I've developed that you will click on. And the questionnaire will show you some questions. Now, you don't have to 100% follow these questions. These are just there to help you understand or maybe guide you on how you could possibly do this. But if you feel like you want to ask more questions, you want to ask different questions, please do that. But we would like it if you could at least go through these questions and make sure that you're at least covering what we want you to cover. So the first question is what language, what publications, what type of articles do you write, What is the audience for your work inside your country? So what we mean is it for the whole country, or is it for a particular village, or is it for a particular district or state or province, or however your country is administratively divided? Do you think there's an international audience for the work that you produce? So for example, if you have diaspora who speaks the same local language, do you think that they would be interested? What kind of media formats do you think people use? So by media formats, we mean TV, radio, social media, print media, electronic media. Which one do you think is the most, which is the most used in your area? Now, when you talk about the main part of the interview, it's about language. So what are the most common languages spoken? Does most media and news reporting take place in these language? Why do you think climate change reporting takes place in, for example, Hindi and not, for example, in Tamil? Just as an example, just to show you how you would frame that question. And then, is climate change reported about often? What language is it usually reported in? Are people interested in learning about it? Do people care about it? Do you think Hindi publications are accessible to you? For example, if we talk about India, the example of India, do you think that they're accessible to the public? What are the barriers faced when reporting about climate change? As a reporter, what kind of obstacles have you faced in reporting climate change? And do you think the media can influence how people think about climate change? And what needs to be done to encourage climate change reporting in local languages? If any of you have any questions about these questions, or you want to rephrase them, you can always reach out to us, or you can even do it on your own. That's fine. But just make sure that we understand how language impacts climate change reporting. That's what we want to learn from this interview. What I would like to tell you is that the next tool that we have prepared for you is probably going to help you do that anyway. But I just wanted to highlight that it should be like a conversation. So you don't have to like sit and have this list of questions and just ask them all immediately. But if you make it into a conversation, you make it interesting, that would make it even better for us. And we have a toolkit here that we developed last year, which will teach you how to conduct an interview. So it has some really, really useful tips on how you can conduct an interview, why you would conduct it, the 13 steps that we usually follow. 13 seems like a lot, but it's actually like very few, and it's actually really, really simple stuff. And you can access this on the app as well. And then finally, we have also, sorry, let's scroll down. Now we're coming to the important bit. You're going to get prizes. You're going to win something. So 10 of the best interviews. So of all of the countries that we're doing, we're going to try and pick 1 to 2 interviews from each country. And we're going to publish them in our final report. So if you look at the South Asia report on Pakistan, the language report on Pakistan, we're going to do a very similar report for South Asia. And in that report, we're going to actually, let me get back. Okay, so hello, welcome back. So in that report, we're going to be giving credit to all of you that submitted their interviews, and the ones who won, and the ones who had the best interviews. So your interviews are going to be featured in the report, and your names will come on there as acknowledgement and as biographies. We're also going to put up your name, your picture, and a short biography of you. So it will be a great opportunity for you to be published in a formal research paper. So that's one incentive, but that's not the only incentive. We're going to be selecting 4 winners. The ones whose interviews we found to be the best, the ones who followed instructions, and the ones whose quality and whose data was really, really good. And the first 2 winners will receive a paid internship at Climate Tracker worth $200. This is going to include some one-on-one training with some of our Climate Tracker staff. So that could be me helping you guys do a bit of training on research. It could be my colleague Andreas helping you guys out on how to do fundraising. It could be my colleague Chris helping you guys understand how to do campaigning, how to do all of these things. Anna could train you on project management. Renee could even train you on social media and designing. So it's totally up to you. We're going to design the internship, taking your needs and your interests into account, and it's a really, really exciting opportunity. The ones of you that will be the 2 runners-up, you're going to be able to get $40 worth of Amazon vouchers each, and you will have the chance to donate this to a charity of your choice if you don't want to avail the Amazon voucher. So you can pick a charity, you can even pick something on GoFundMe or some kind of crowdfunding site, and we would be glad to donate the money on your behalf to that account. So these are the prizes, and this was a short summary of the Climate Tracker South Asia Research Challenge. So just to go through it again very quickly, we have some tools and resources there for you. You're going to apply through the Climate Tracker app. You're going to go to app.climatetracker.org. You're going to click on the South Asia Research Challenge, and then on the left of your screen, you're going to go through each step one by one. We also have some resources prepared for you. You can use those to help you apply. And other than that, what you can also do is make sure that you try and follow our instructions. Have a look through the toolkits that we've provided. They might be helpful for you. The questionnaire that we've already prepared, you could try and follow that, but you can always add as many questions as you like. One thing that we would like to request is something that might not be really clear, but we would really like it if you could very, very clearly mention the names and contact details of the journalists that you've interviewed, along with maybe an email address or a phone number. And if you can manage, if you can get a picture of that person, that would be excellent as well. But we can always contact you about that later once you've submitted your interviews. So everyone, thank you so much. I know that this was a slightly longer call than I intended, but I hope that the South Asia Research Challenge is much clearer to you now, and we're really, really excited about working with some of you again. We've tried to up our engagement with our trackers, and this is one of the first attempts that we're making at doing very, very participatory research, and we hope to continue this throughout the coming years. So we want to engage you, our climate trackers, throughout the rest of the year in not only research, but in anything that we're doing. We want you and your opinion and your advice on everything that we do, and we hope that this research is the first step towards doing that. I'm going to sign out now. It was very, very good speaking to all of you, and I really, really look forward to your submissions. We can see that a lot of you have signed up already, and I really look forward to getting in touch with you guys. And I also look forward to having 2 new interns from South Asia working with us on the team. So thank you all, and have a really nice day. Bye-bye.